My family's holiday tradition is that usually at the beginning of December, I remember as a kid seeing my mom, my tias, starting to make tamales. And so you'd call it this big tamalada. And it was one where it was everyone was there. Everybody has a role. And at the time, my grandma, who was the matriarch, we used to call her quality control because she would go around like tasting things and looking at what you would do, like whatever your station was, to see if you were doing a good job. And early on, as a kid, there's the embarrando la masa, so spreading the masa on the corn husk. And I remember I always wanted to do that one. I thought that was like such a grown-up job. And then I'm not very good at that part. And so getting essentially moved on to other roles in the process. But, you know, it would start days before. So I got to learn and see my mom and my grandma and my tias make the chile, 3 days before the tamalada. And then like the day before, they would be making the meat, whatever meat might go in it, or beans, or preparing the rajas, so the Fresno chilies, and roasting them and peeling them and getting them ready for the tamales that we're going to have cheese and those. And then on the day of the tamalada, it was like all over the place. And anyway, what I remember is like you would kind of graduate from stations, and I just shared that I was not very good at the spreading. So I got immediately leaped over into rolling. I'm really good at the rolling part. So that was my job. So that tradition has carried on with my immediate family. And so every year since my oldest daughter was 4, my mom comes at the beginning of December, and we would do it. So we started in our little cramped apartment kitchen and have pictures of my girl wetting the hojas and everything. And my mom would tell the story about why we make tamales and how it's part of our family tradition. And that was our gifting. Because you don't just, for that kind of work, you have to do a lot. And so we started the tradition in my immediate family where Maria and I would give those to our family and friends. So every year, my mom would come, and it's grown. So it used to just be our little family, and then we would bring in some like really close friends. And then before we knew it, our last tamalada, I think we had about 25 people there. Some of them, my kids' families, friends, and friends that we made along the way. And there are some people that we only see during tamalada time because they live in other parts, and they would always come to travel and be a part of that story. So the last time that we had the big tamalada, we made 116 dozen, and those get gifted. So we would make them on a Saturday, and then Sunday we would call it the open house pickup. And for our friends, that was our gift. And so we've continued that, and looking forward to continuing that here in Santa Rosa. And with a growing kind of multicultural family, we also include my wife's tradition of making homemade raviolis from her father's side of the family. That's his nona's recipe. And so now my girls expect to have tamalada, to make tamales, and they've learned how to make ravioli from scratch, filling, sauce, meat, and that now has become part of our tradition leading up into the Christmas holiday. So I hope that you are enjoying your family traditions as well.